Tonight's lesson is Unit 3, Lesson 6. We're going to start telling time. We've been working on this in class. The first four here deal with quarter to, quarter after, and half past. So let's look at the first one. I have on the 3. So from 12 to 3 is 1/4 of a clock. So it's quarter down there. Now it comes after the 12. So that means quarter past or quarter after. You can use either word. I look at the hour hand here. It's between the 3 and the 4. I always go with the smallest digit. So it's quarter past 3. And I would write that as my hour hand is between the 3 and the 4. So this is a 3. And then I would count from the 12 to the 3 to the minute hand. So 5, 10, 15. So 3:15 would be a digital clock. I would say it in words as quarter past 3. Let's look at the next one. Again, my hour hand is in between the 7 and the 8, so I always go with the smaller one. My minute hand is on the 6, so I can count by 5. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 7:30. And another way to write that time is half past 7. Because 30 is half of 60, going all the way around the clock. This would just be half of it, going from here to there, from the 12 to the 6. If I look at my next one, again, I have a quarter. So this one here is going to the next hour. So it would be quarter to. And what is my next hour going to be? When this minute hand comes up to the 12, it's going to be 5 o'clock. If I write that as a digital clock, I look at my hour hand. It's between the 4 and the 5. I always go with the smaller one. And then I count by 5 from the 12 all the way around to the minute hand. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 4:45. And I would say it's either 4:45 or quarter to 5. Let's look at number 4. My hour hand is pointing right to the 11. I'm going to put 11 down. And I have the minute hand on the 12. So that starts again at 0. So I would write this as 11 o'clock. Okay. Draw the hands on the analog clock. These are analog clocks. These are digital. Write the top on the digital clock. So first of all, you have to draw the hands on the analog clock and then write the digits in the digital clock. So 28 minutes after 4. So I'm going to find my minute hand. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 26, 27, 20. It's got to come right about there. So I'm going to point my long hand right there. After 4, and I can see that this is almost half past. So my hour hand is going to go in between the 4 and the 5. And I would write that as 4, because I always take the smaller one, and then 28. Look at number 6. 6:45. On my analog, or on my digital clock, I write 6:45. Well, let's do our minute hand first, which means I have to count from the 12 all around to 45. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. So my minute hand is going to go right on the 9. Okay, 6:45. It tells me it's almost 7 o'clock. If it's 6:45 and 15 more minutes, it's going to be 7 o'clock. So my hand is going to be pointing closer to the 7 than it is to the 6. Look at number 7. 6:45. 6:45. If I look up here, 6:45 puts my minute hand on the 45. So let's put our minute hand on the 45. That's 6:45. And 6:45, that means it's almost 7 o'clock. So my hour hand is going to go closer to the 7 than it is to the 6. It still comes in between the 6 and the 7 because it's not totally on the 7. So I always take the smaller number. I count around my minute hand. When I get to the 9, it'll be a 45. So these two are exactly the same. I say one as 6:45. I say the other one as 6:45. Here I have 4:45 and then 4:45. Let's look at number 8. Write the time on the digital clock, then write how to say the time. Okay. So again, we're going to look at our hour hand. It's between the 2 and the 3. So I take the smaller one. I have to count from the 12 all the way to the minute hand. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 36. That's about 37. And I can write that as 2:37. 2:37. Looking at clock number 9, I'm looking at my hour hand. It is not pointed directly on the 11, so it's between the 10 and 11. So I'm going to put 10 down for my hour. Oh, if I draw this line out, it comes out to about right here. So I got to count all the way around till I get to that point. So I start with the 1, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 56, 57, 58. And I can write that as, I want to do it different than this way to show you all the different ways to do it. So I would say for this one, 58 minutes past 10. That's another way to say this, 58 minutes past 10. I could have said 10:58. Let's look at the last one. I have my minute hand on the 9. When I have my minute hand on the 9, like this one right here, it's 1:45. And my minute hand is on the 9. So I'm going to write 1:45. My hour hand, working on the digital clock now, my hour hand is between the 8 and the 9. I always take the smaller one, so 8. I need to count all the way around. I should know that half is 30, because 30 is half of 60. So I'm going to start my counting at the 6 and say 30, 35, 40, 45. So it's 8:45. It is when this minute hand reaches the 12, it's going to be 9 o'clock. So I'm going to say it's going to, in 1/4 of an hour, it's going to be 9:45. And that's the end of tonight's lesson, Unit 3, Lesson 6, Telling Time.